Exactly.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because like it wasn't only Italians that were Guidos. I mean, I had
we had all
he's
kinds.
Irish, you know?
Half.
And it was just the thing to be. You know,
Right.
it wasn't an Italian thing, but people get it misconstrued
Right.
nowadays.
Right, right. I heard that too as a pop. I wanted to say, and growing up on the East Coast, Northeast Coast, you're familiar. African Americans were familiar. I grew up in an area where I grew up in Maplewood, but born in Newark. So, I got a lot of Italian friends growing up. My father grew up in, as you know, Mom, obviously you're married to him.
Yeah.
So my dad grew up in North Newark, New Jersey at a time. He speaks Italian, so at a time when it's predominantly all types of communities living in, predominantly a lot of Italian American that are friends they grew up with. So, a lot of
Ciccolini and brothers.
Right, the Ciccolini brothers, appliance stores. Their guys were famous, but so you're familiar with the culture to a certain degree. You go different parts of the country, like California. When we're in LA, it's a different,
Totally different.
it's a different flavor.
Yeah.
Now, how is that? How is that different? Can you describe that anyway, or what?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a little like really more vain. If you think like Guidos and the East Coast people are vain, California is like 10 steps above that.
Right.
It's like
Right, we don't
everybody
wanna-
has to look perfect.
Right.
And nobody's really. I don't think anybody's truly honest out there.
Right,
Really?
right. And we don't really want to bash LA, but
No,
we're
I
a little bit
love
more
LA.
direct. We're a
Yeah.
little bit more direct on the East Coast. But let's get back to the film. So talk about what gave you the idea. You said based on, you came up with the idea with you and your brothers, but so now you got the idea. What next? You started.
So I wrote the screenplay. I started writing the screenplay in like 2008, 2009, and then, I have a screenplay which I wrote before that, but
Right.
it would take a lot more to do it.
Right.
A lot more budget-wise and stuff. So I figured let's do this. I could pull this off because I knew most of the locations I was going to get for free, and I have a lot of New York talent that would fit the parts that I needed. So I said, let me try to put this together, and we just basically. It took us about a year between casting and getting locations. And we put it all together and shot it in 15 days.
15 days.
Wow.
Well,
15
15 days, but with Sandy in between.
Wow,
Right,
that's
I-
right. You told me.
Okay.
We
You're
were
still
about
working on it.
2/3 through, and Sandy hit.
So what's happening now? You're at a standstill?
Oh no, the film's done. It's out.
done?
We're done. But Sandy had hit about 2/3 of the way through, and to Vito's credit, he got everybody back in line and pulled everybody back together and finished the shoot. Everybody wanted to get back to work, and everybody is real. They love the film. They want to be part of the project, so they really put their all into it. Everyone that was involved, and people didn't have power in their house, but they were coming out and doing the film. And it's a testament to everybody involved.
So that's kind of a producer nightmare, right, Dave? That you have a natural disaster just come down in the middle of your shoot, right?
all across the board. Gas, we couldn't get gas.
Gasoline was definitely the biggest problem because you just couldn't get, and we had generators and everything.
Vito and I are driving rack trucks around at night trying to get gas.
Yeah,
bringing them home.
I didn't only direct the film, then I'm driving trucks home. And it was a tough 15 days.
We were the jack of all trades.
Yeah,
we really were.
when you're independent, you're doing it all yourself. It's almost like you're almost acting, holding the camera and the light. And,
We're worried about what food we're going to eat and where we're ordering from.
Right, exactly.
But we also lost several locations. Like we had
Because of Sandy?
we had a really great diner in Jersey City which had no power, so I had to change that to a social club scene, and we had a really great kickboxing gym, and I was going to have 100 people in the gym. I had the trainer on board, and we lost that. That was in Hoboken. And then we lost our tanning salon in Hoboken, so I got a hair salon, and we made it look like a tanning salon. We kind of pulled it off.
So you lost these places because they were destroyed?
Destroyed.
By Sandy, or
No
they
power,
lost
destroyed.
The
all kinds of
Hoboken,
stuff.
the tanning salon is not even
Yeah, it was
open.
destroyed.
It was destroyed. And one of our biggest locations was a supermarket, and I had one in Jersey City, and it totally went out of business. But luckily, I was able to get one in Maywood, New Jersey, which was a really nice supermarket. It almost looked like a Whole Foods, very colorful. So that was like almost a plus that I got that supermarket at last minute, because it's really hard to find the supermarket that's going to let you film and barely get paid. Because
I was just wondering about that. I was going to ask you a question. How do you go about going into a place saying, can I use your facility or for a location for a movie?
Just like that.
Just like that?
Just like that.
And then you say, I will pay?
Actually, I'm kind of shy when it comes to. I don't really like to go and ask people for anything. And we had another producer, Ty Risby, who's not here right now, but he actually took care of. He's a very smooth talker, and he took care of all that stuff. Like, he got us the Maywood Market because we were getting food from there. We shot at a house over there, and they were interested. Oh, you're shooting a movie? So he took a ride there on a Sunday, and we were shooting, and he was like, don't worry, we're going to get it when I come back. And he came back, he was all quiet. I was like, do we get it? And he's like, we got it.
I'm curious, do you find that people are absolutely, when you say that you're shooting a movie, people say, wow, yeah, can I be a part? Do you find that?
Yes.
Oh, definitely, yeah. People, so you end up getting extras, for free. By the attention. We needed extras because we had a lot of nightclub, and I couldn't really afford to pay every extra, the money that they would want.
Right. What kind of clubs did you use? Were they in the South Jersey area or the North Jersey, or what?
We used a club in Jersey City called the Powerhouse, and we set up beds in there because the theme was instead of VIP booths, they laid in beds. So we used that club. We used Chris Michael's Steakhouse, which is in Woodbridge.
Yes, right.
And we used that for a couple of different scenes. We just used different parts of the club, and it looks different.
Let's. I want to because I know you got some people that you let know that we're going to be on. So we want to let them know that they can call in. And talk to you if they worked on the film with you, or they want to give you a shout out. Proud of you. The number is 323-679-0906. That's 323-679-0906.
That's right.
Call in, and anybody else that might not be familiar with Vito and Dave, call in anyway and talk to them about their experiences making the film. Because if you've gone through that experience, I've gone through it as well, then you know that Murphy's Law does apply, and it applied in a big way to you guys.
Once in a lifetime.
Yeah, once in a lifetime too. It's like getting struck by lightning, huh? So you know that when you go through that experience, it kind of makes you stronger, and there's nothing that you realize there's nothing that you can't do. And if you're determined and you got that vision like you have, we talked about this a couple of years, and look at us now. We're sitting here talking about the move you made. That's why I'm so proud of you as being a friend of yours, that you did this and you got these things done and you stuck to that vision, because it takes a lot of tenacity.
Yeah, definitely, and it's just like you could pitch the script to 100 people, and you think, and some of them do like it and they'll read it, but just to get them to, like, 5 different people to read it and say, oh, we're going to do this movie, like, I'm talking maybe a studio or a production company, it's really, I don't know how, I mean, it's a tough task.
Yeah.
So eventually you say, I got to do it myself, to break into the business.
Yeah, I want to find out more about that, how you go about doing that, and how you go about, if you don't have the money, then you just hang in there with it. I mean, that's, that has to be almost like heartbreaking if something happens like, the storm in South Jersey. So.
I mean.
Well.
Do you cry a lot?
I had to talk him off the ledge a couple times.
We couldn't even communicate with everybody at first with the storm. Yeah. I had to drive to my DP and producer, actually his DP and producer Ron Elliott. I had to drive to his house, and it took 15 minutes to get maybe 5 blocks into Hoboken just to tell him, what are we gonna do? And he's like, no, we're gonna finish the film.
Right.
And an email we sent out.
You had to feel good about that.
Well, yeah, because then after we finished the film, my drive crashes after 5 weeks of editing, and I was really worried about that. I had to send it back to the company, and luckily they restored everything.
Oh, wow.
Because I would have been really, so we overcame that also.
Let's stop right there. We're going to have to go for a little quick break for a second, and we're going to be right back talking about The Last American Guido. Great title.
Stay with us.
Thank you.
GoPro Radio, the fastest growing network in the galaxy, is leaner and meaner with a new attitude, new technology, and a brand new lineup. Tune in and get wired every Wednesday, starting at 5 p.m. Eastern with the BCS Experience featuring Byron C. Saunders, formerly of New York City's WBAI. Then at 6 p.m., it's the Black Agenda TV Express featuring sought-out political commentator Glenn Ford, formerly of America's Black Forum. Then at 8 p.m., it's time for Kae Thompson Live with the legendary radio host Kae Thompson of Inner City Broadcasting's WLIB and her son, renowned actor Eric Payne, who starred in such films as Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing, Drop Squad, and many more. Then, at 9 p.m., it's Food Rap, featuring Nina Markel, a.k.a. the unofficial mayor of Jersey City, and former Viacom marketing guru Shauna Glover. Last but not least, at 10 p.m. Eastern, it's The Sexy Party Show with the bad boy of dating Mr. Locario of I Love New York fame and his partner in crime, Miles Cunningham. So get wired every Wednesday from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern only on the GoPro Radio Network, www.goproradio.com. Listen to the voices in your head.
Okay, we are back, everyone. We're back.
Should I tell him I fooled you on opening night?
Just let us. We want to say that we're brought to once again. Our sponsors are Reuben Johnson's Bogey's Restaurant and Lounge in East Orange, New Jersey. That's at 527 William Street. You want to check out Lottie's in there, Bogey's Restaurant and Lounge, and East Orange, New Jersey. 527 William Street in East Orange, New Jersey. And we want to talk about also Vonda's Kitchen. 183 West Kenny Street, Newark, New Jersey. Really good soul food, Southern comfort food, healthy, health-conscious soul food.
Well, you know, Vonda also has great vegetables.
Vonda is an incredible chef.
But, you know, I want to tell everybody there is a difference between the two restaurants, you know.
Right.
Like, for instance, with Bogey's. Bogey's also has Lottie's, and that's Reuben Johnson's, the name of his mother. And so they have a lot of good food and, you know, all kinds of stuff. And I've been getting hungry every time I talk about a restaurant.
They both have really good food, but in our area.
And you can dance there.
If you went to Bogey's, you were hanging out. It was good hangout time back in the day.
Yeah.
So we're back with Vito LeBruno and Dave Heine? Dave, did I say
Heenahan.
Heenahan. Damn.
It's Heenahan?
Yeah.
Hyene.
I don't know why that's stuck.
That's tough. All right. I'll give you that.
Hyene
it's not easy.
You said Ciccolini, and I'm thinking, never mind.
But that's Bobby's name. They're the Ciccolini brothers. I remember them, Ciccolini brothers. They're good friends.
We were on a talk show like a month ago, late night with Johnny P. It's basically a talk show broadcast in the 5 boroughs, and he couldn't say his name either, and actually he was so scared that he didn't say our names, and he made me do ourselves.
Right.
It's like, I don't want to mess his name up.
Right.
And it's easy when you just, if you read it, you say it as it's writ.
Right.
Heenahan.
Okay, I get it. I'll get it by the time you leave, but then, you know.
Well, we don't care if they pronounce your name wrong.
Just Last American
Guido.
The producer of the Last American
That's
Guido.
Dave.
So that's an interesting title, by the way.
Yeah, it's great. So tell us what you were just telling us about the little bit of pushback that you got in there.
Okay, so we had a showing like a month ago, so I hung flyers like the Last American Guido and Brasher and Guido. I hung them all over Jersey City, and I started getting negative feedback from like Italian Americans and like the Facebook page, and they basically were telling me that I'm disgracing the heritage, and it was I took it to heart at first, and I was like, but then I realized they didn't see the movie, they know nothing about the movie, and they're just prejudging me, and I totally like got over it, and it stopped. Luckily, it only lasted for like a few days. I'm thinking it was just a small group of people that together all hit me at once, trying to put negativity towards the showing and discourage people from coming. But then everybody that came to the event loved it, and you know, I had priests watch the movie and they loved it.
Yeah.
Did they give their okay?
Yes.
Well, hey.
So being the person that I am, and I'm his best friend, I had to bust his chops a little bit. So the night of the red carpet event, about 6:30, I text him. I don't know, somebody just told me they're picketing in front of the Lowe's.
I got nervous.
And it was silence, dead silence.
For how long? How long did you bust his chops later?
No, about 15 minutes later, I said I was only kidding.
Now, when you did your casting call, you know, for people, you know, to act in the film, did you do it primarily in Jersey City or New Jersey, or it was open call or what?
We actually had auditions in New York City. I had a casting agent, Winsome Sinclair, and she did a great job. And she put together the perfect group of people and I was able to, like, as soon as people walked in, the certain person, I said, that's, you know, so and so, and then a lot of the actors I knew I wanted, and she just basically emailed their agents, and we were able to work stuff out. Some people I couldn't get that I couldn't get work.
Winsome is I worked with Winsome on Malcolm X, so she's an excellent casting director, knows what she's doing, been doing it for at least that long since we did that film.
The parts were right on.
Yeah.
She did a really good job.
Yeah, and the value of having someone like that they've been around and they know the actors, they know what actors you can work with, what actors sometimes you want to get someone to perform, to work on the film, but they're not open to doing independent films, or they got an agent who's going to give you static about, I want this amount of money, and maybe the casting director has a personal a relationship with the person, or maybe she's done them a favor. So it's always good to have someone like that who's had the experience around. I mean, you were telling me you really benefited from her experience.
Yeah, definitely. And dealing with agents and the whole SAG thing, I wasn't ready to deal with all that because I'm trying to storyboard and plan the film. I don't really want to deal with all. So she really cut like a lot of time out of our project by doing all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't know.
SAG and
those are the unions, the Screen Actors Guild Union.
Yeah, because I belong to AFTRA. So.
For and the American Federation of Television Radio Artists. But taking another step, when you shoot a movie in 15 days, I mean, without a hurricane in between, it's really a remarkable thing. I mean, 15 days is like,
You didn't sleep.
Yeah.
No,
you didn't sleep.
Or eat.
We took a week off, maybe, or two. One day we took 2 days.
And while they had a day off, I went to work.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But
This is exciting.
We actually, the hurricane was 5 days, so that was it actually recharged. Everybody was kind of just wanted to get out of the houses from being in the dark for 5 days. They were like, let's do the movie. I don't care how long. And then it got really cold because we had nice weather. It was beautiful. And then the hurricane came. And now we're behind a church doing a scene with people like not a lot of clothes on.
It's supposed to be summertime.
And they're freezing and they're all red. Wow. And then I want to tell a little funny story about that. We're behind the church. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. And we're doing a scene with actually not nudity, but it's close. We got approval from the parish, right? So we're hoping they don't come out and look. I don't think they would have cared. But so anyway, I was away from home a lot, So my wife decided to walk my dog. So she walks onto the set. She never came to the set once, so nobody knew her really. But so she storms the set in the middle of, and this is a long scene, and you know how a lot of dialogue, and the actors just want. She storms the set, and everybody just stops and looks at her, and I'm like, I'll be home in a few minutes, And so my lead actor, we watched the takes afterwards, and he's stomping up and down but he's not. So as soon as she walked off, I said reset. Everybody just continued.
Went back
it was
to
like
going.
went right back to the place they were in, and we finished.
Like it
the
never
scene,
happened.
And they're like, everybody's like, "Who is that?" They thought it was like a neighbor coming out to say we're making too much noise.
That's funny.
That's hilarious. So, and just the fact that everybody was able to reset, go right from where they were.
Yeah, it was like it didn't even happen.
Because if you have one of those long takes, you know how that is. There's so many things go wrong, and when it's going good, you don't want anything to interrupt.
And
that take.
When you watch the movie, I'm going to tell you the scene that it was. You're gonna laugh.
Okay.
What about extras? Did you have a lot of extras? And was it hard getting extras?
Well,
Maybe you can explain what extras are.
Basically, extras are non-speaking roles and just background people, and they necessarily don't have to be in the union. Most of them, some of them are, some of them aren't. But we like sometimes it's $50 a head or $100 for an extra, and we just didn't. When we want 100 people in a club, we just couldn't.
We
pay.
couldn't afford that much money.
So we got as many people as we can to come there, but basically we got an extra casting agent who does just extras. And we would order 20 and 50. We had a little problem in one of the club scenes because we only had 25, and then we started throwing the crew in there. And
anybody that was there, get in.
You get the same people dancing by.
Yeah, well, you think that you have a lot of friends and you have people we spoke before about people being excited about being in a movie.
That's right.
And everybody says, "Oh, I want to come. I want to be there. Can I?" And then next thing you know, we're shooting the scene and nobody's there.
Yeah, you think you're going to get 55 will show up.
Right.
But so the opening scene of the movie, we didn't shoot it during the production. And we had to go back a few months later, and it was just like an opening dance, like a break dance when he was in the 90s. Like we had a different break dancer playing his part. And that I said, I don't want to mess up with the extras this time. I don't care how much it is. We have to make this club look packed.
Right.
Yeah, we made sure that time.
We did.
Opening scene. Also, too, I know that feeling too. You're calling up family and friends to come be in the film. I've done that myself, so I know that feeling. But a lot of times, people don't realize, I want to be in the movie, but when they come, they think it's a lot of just hanging out stuff, which it is. But you're hanging out with a purpose, and it's a long day, and they might be on their feet long, and they might be outside. Supposed to play a spring day, and it's in the middle of winter. So a lot of people don't realize that. Then you lose them after a while. So You know, a lot of people think it's a lot easier than it actually is.
We needed one of the parts. My wife actually played one of the parts, and she had no clue really how. She thought like you came in, you did the line, and you went home. And she came in and did this part, and like she couldn't get the line. She's not an actress. She was great. I mean, it turned out great.
Right.
But how long did it take her to get into
a while? And she didn't realize how many times she had to do it over and over and over.
That was like an 11 take.
So it was tough.
And how could I
after that, did she enjoy it? It sounds
no,
like
she
fun.
loved it, but she was nervous.
Yeah.
It was her first time, and you know that comes across on the screen right away.
Everybody's looking.
Everybody's trying to calm her down, and you know Mike, who was great, you know, our lead actor Mike DiGiacinto was fantastic, trying to calm her down, and I mean it came out good. So,
and we had a great editor too. So.
Yeah, he did wonders.
Meaning that for people that don't know what an editor does.
Well, basically, he cuts the final product together.
Corrects all
Not
mistakes.
with scissors.
He almost
not with scissors.
No, with software and stuff. But he almost tells the story. Like he almost tells the story and cuts it and breaks it down. It's really an art to edit. I really give them credit. It's a lot of patience and it's a long hours.
Good editor can make or break a film.
Yeah,
in a lot of instances, because you know you've seen films at different pieces of films, or you might see a director's cut as opposed to the final cut, and sometimes the director's cut is not as good. Sometimes, you know, especially when DVDs first started coming out, and you can get the director's cut of a DVD or just the studio release cut. Sometimes the director's cut is better. Sometimes the studio cut is better. So that they really can make or break a film.
And who makes the final decision on what cut to use? You know, what editor to use?
I sat in maybe once a week with the editor. I let him do his thing, and then I would check it out, and I would say, oh, maybe we need to leave this, or maybe we need to cut this out, and basically I made the final decision, but I had a lot of respect. He edited a lot of big movies, so I was not going to question his judgment. I'm just starting out in the business, and you got to sometimes let go of your. You have to let go of your material. You can't love everything. Sometimes you got to cut out lines you really liked and some funny jokes, but just to keep the flow of the story going. You know?
We were blessed with the people that we had involved, editors that were involved in such big films that fell in love with this project and really wanted to be part of it.
Right.
And so you two really, really love this, what you have, right? When are we going to be able to see it? When is it coming out?
I'm showing it in Red Bank, New Jersey on December 12th. This is Thursday night at 8 p.m. at the Clearview Cinemas in Red Bank. That'll be the next.
Clearview Cinemas in Red Bank. When again?
December 12th at 8 o'clock.
At 8 o'clock. Okay. So anyone who wants to find out more information should do what?
They should go to The Last American Guido at Facebook, and I usually update the status of the screenings, and I put a bunch of pictures from all the events. And they could also go to LastAmericanGuido.com and check out the trailer and all about us and the film and the characters, and we have a whole interactive website. It's TheLastAmericanGuido.com.
Give that out one more time to see the film.
To find out information about screenings and updates on the film, they go to The Last American Guido at Facebook.com, and to check out the trailer and all different stuff about the filming of the project and the actors and who's involved, they can go to LastAmericanGuido.com.
Okay.
And there'll be a showing on December 12th.
On December 12th.
In Red Bank at the Clearview Cinemas.
Okay.
And they can get, if they go to Facebook or if they go to the website, they'll be able to get tickets through Eventbrite.
Okay, that's fine.
We got to go to a break.
Yeah.
And that says break with an exclamation point. So.
Is it yes?
Break. We'll be right back.
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you a great opportunity. If you have a product or service, a talent or something important to say, now's your chance to have your own radio show. Whether you're just starting out or a veteran looking for a professional platform to enhance your presentation, the GoPro Radio Network is the premier place to cultivate and share new and exciting content. We'll help you to grow your audience and keep it growing long after your first broadcast. Now you have a voice. Call 212-696-8562 today or visit www.goproradio.com and you'll be amazed at how easy and affordable it is to have your own radio show on the fastest growing network in the galaxy. GoPro Radio. Listen to the voices in your head.
The views and opinions expressed on GoPro Radio Network shows are solely those of the speakers and are not necessarily the views or opinions of GoPro Radio Networks, Inc. or its affiliates. These broadcasts are provided on the understanding that they do not constitute professional advice or services. Individuals who speak in these broadcasts express their own opinions, experiences, and conclusions. GoPro Radio Networks and its affiliates do not necessarily endorse or oppose any particular opinion or conclusion discussed in these broadcasts. You may not edit, modify, or redistribute these broadcasts in any way without the express permission of GoPro Radio Networks, Inc. GoPro Radio Networks assumes no liability for any of your activities in connection with these broadcasts or for your use of these broadcasts in connection with your website, computer, or playing device.
And we are back. Kae Thompson live here. And Eric.
Eric Payne. And once again, sponsored by Bogey's Restaurant Lounge in East Orange, New Jersey.
That's
and
right.
with Lottie's Restaurant in there, it's a good hangout spot. It has been remodeled or reopened within the last year. It's at 527 William Street in East Orange, owned by the great Reuben Johnson.
Right.
And Vonda's Kitchen, Ma, where are they located?
They're located at 183 West Kinney Street in Newark, New Jersey. And what food they have. Reuben's, the lounge and the restaurant, Bogey's and Lottie's. Bogey's has come back within the last couple of years for people who don't know, by the way.
And Vonda's Kitchen. Vonda's Kitchen is really a great place, so we really love the food. We're here with Vito LeBruno and Dave. I'm not going to mess up your last name, Dave. The producer, Vito is the director. His best friend, Dave, is the producer. And The Last American Guido is the name of the movie. I just want to say, V, you guys were, I mean, tell us about your guys' relationship. We were just talking about you guys being best friends since how long, Dave?
About 12 years old.
Yeah.
About 12 years old.
Basically, we were good friends growing up through till we were in our 20s, and then we kind of didn't see each other for 10 years. And I did this short film. I mean, it was my first film called The Pope of Jersey City. Basically $0, no, just one camera. And he came. I had a fundraising screening in Jersey City, and he showed up. And then since then
someone had told me he was doing it. It was about 7 years. We would run into each other once in a while.
Yeah,
life
were bitten by the bug.
Life grows apart sometimes.
Exactly.
And I would see him once in a while, and a mutual friend said, Vito's doing a movie. And I had known from childhood that he always loved acting, and he loved writing, and that was his thing. I was like, wow, I can't miss this.
Right.
And I just showed up, and we went right back to our friendship again. It was like we were never apart. It's
when you're
crazy.
Friends. That's when you're
and then so we started hanging out and talking about other projects, and then we together collaborated for this project, another short film called Business is Dead, which you can see on YouTube. It's about a funeral director who sells body parts. The cover is that's comedy, dark comedy. And
what?
That
sounds like a case I heard years ago.
Yes.
Yeah, I was on LIB at the time. Ooh.
Right.
Well, for that project, I wanted to write a short, and that was pretty cheap to film, and my friend owned a funeral home, so I had to write something.
There you go. You got the location.
And we wound up winning a couple awards, a couple of film festivals for it. Yeah,
nice.
Absolutely.
Nice.
There's something to be said about this. When you want to do something, even though life may take you in a direction where you've got to make money, so therefore you may have to do another thing that you don't want to do. I always like to tell people reinvent yourself. Here you two, are not in films. We're not in films, and now you're in films because this is what you always wanted to do.
Is that what you always wanted to do, Dave?
I can't say that I did. You see your friend doing something, and he's your best friend. You want to help, but I can't say that I don't want to be now. I've been absolutely bitten.
And you sure need help making movies too. You need a friend, a good friend like yourself.
Well, I wanted him to have somebody around him that he can trust, and
depend on,
and not have to question, and know that when I say something or my opinion is the truth, and not have people around them that just want to be in a movie or just there's nothing. I'm not trying to get anything out of it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it's like if you have something and it's not good, or maybe a scene is not good, you want somebody to tell you
the truth.
That's not good, or the joke's not funny, because the worst thing to be is filled with be egotistical and think everything is great, because you'll never be able to improve. You need to not only need to self-edit, but you need other people to tell you.
Sure.
Because you'll get blinded by your own ego, and it happens. And when I first started writing, I had really good concepts, like the one I pitched. Yeah. But I didn't have the structure. I didn't have it down pat on how to structure a screenplay, but I didn't think I thought I did, So I went to a pitch fest once in Burbank, and I got 8 requests for different
What's a
screens.
pitch fest?
A pitch fest is like it's 100 different companies. They're all in tables in LA, and you got like maybe 500 people go there. You all get in lines of the production companies you want to go pitch to, and you have 5 minutes.
In other words,
to
you
pitch.
have companies that you have to go and tell them about your film
Right, like-
and sell them on it. Is
Right,
that
different
Exactly.
production companies.
Oh,
And you
okay,
have 5
okay.
minutes, and they ring a bell, and you go and sit down. And
That's like dating.
yeah,
It's like speed dating,
It was
yeah.
speed dating. So I had some great success there. I mean, everybody liked the ideas, and I send out about 8 screenplays with The Last American Guido and my other one, but I had like typos. I mean, I didn't have the things ready.
see, yeah.
But you think they're ready. Oh, I'm ready. The idea is so good, they're gonna take it. But until you realize that you have to be more than perfect.
Yes.
And they look for
He
those
can
things
tell you that.
to weed you out. I mean,
Absolutely.
A lot of people don't realize. I've read scripts. I've met people who wanted you to read the script, help me get it done, and the form is off. There's typos in it. You can't even really understand it. And if you can't do that, because you have the readers and the people who do coverage. Excuse me, sorry, I hit that mic. Sorry. People who do coverage. People do coverage is called when you have an agent's assistant or someone will read the script, and then they'll write a synopsis of it and what they think, whether they think it's a good project or not. And the agent then, based on that coverage, might read the script. So the agent, a lot of times, they're not even reading the script.
Right.
They've got their assistants doing coverage and doing a synopsis about it. So if you're not in the right form, boom, it's going into
Out
the
the door.
garbage. Because they get so many scripts. I mean, tons and tons of scripts. So that's a
But
way
isn't
that they
that
weed out
frustrating
people.
after a while?
It gets frustrating,
Yeah.
but it's the nature of the business. I want to go into a different direction. What do you do as a profession?
Wait a minute, Dan.
I'm a Jersey City police officer. I'm in criminal warrants, U.S.
Criminal
Marshals
warrants.
Task Force.
And you know why I asked that? Because it's people wouldn't expect, I guess, guys like Dick Wolf and David Milch were police officers, right, about their experience. But, you're doing a comedy film. It's not. It doesn't have it. It's not a police story.
Not even close.
Not even close.
I have 3 screenplays and none of
Not
them are
one
police
cop story.
They have police in them, but
Right.
very small.
Want me to
Right.
tell you a few stories about the
And-
Jersey City Police?
And no, we're not going to talk about that.
Okay, all right.
Here's one of the finest ones. in there.
I know.
So,
Thank you very much.
so, and you come from a family. I mean, you have
I have a brother that's a sergeant, and my nephew is also a police officer in
Right.
Jersey City.
Right. So how did they feel about, or what were their perspectives when you said this? Obviously, they knew that this was always a calling of yours that you wanted to do. How'd your brother?
My brother, he was like, you're taking a big chance, but he, if that's what you want to do, you got to do it like 100%. And then when he came to the screening,
Yeah, he was.
like overwhelmed by how
Yeah.
good it was, and he said, "I can't believe you did
Did he
this
want to
movie."
be? Does he want to be in the next film?
He was an extra in one of the bocce scenes. You could see
Yeah.
him in this film,
Yeah.
but my nephew is actually in the has a role in the film.
Oh, really?
A speaking
You met
role, yeah.
him in L.A.
Yeah, he came
Andrew.
to LA with you.
He
yeah.
has a role in my short film business, his dad, and he has a smaller role in this movie. He plays a cop. Typecasted.
Seeing the trailer, I got to tell you, you just get the trailer gives you a good feeling, I watched the trailer, and you could tell, obviously it's a comedy, you get that, but you can tell there's a warmth that comes across even in the trailer. And it makes you want to see the movie, which is that's what you want the trailer
Thank you.
to do.
That's one thing that we like to hear from
Right.
people, especially people that aren't close to us.
Right.
Because we cut it with Ron, with our
Yeah.
DP. We cut it in on Final Cut, and because I was going to get a professional company to do it,
Right.
and they wanted between $10,000 and $20,000.
$20,000.
Yeah.
Two things.
Yeah.
Your next movie, I want a part.
Absolutely.
Okay. Also, now taking it from, say, a parent's perspective, I think I have gone through so much stuff with Eric when he was, trying out for different parts, and it really is an emotional thing, that parents go through. For instance, School Days, that was great, and then, but when you had to die in, what is it, Jonan or whatever, that.
Yeah. Well, I died in.
Yeah,
Well, I
those
Fallen
scenes,
Fate.
I have
don't
a
like those
perspective
kind of
the
scenes.
opposite way.
Yeah.
In Business is Dead, we had to put my dad in a coffin.
Played a
Oh,
corpse.
wait
He
a
played a
minute.
corpse.
Right.
So I had to look at him in a coffin. It was a
Yeah,
little
it was a little
weird,
eerie,
but
huh?
nah, it was funny
A
Right.
corpse in
We laughed.
a corpse in a sweatsuit.
with sunglasses on.
Okay. Yeah. We see it. We know
We see
that
him.
he's here.
Wayne Gilman.
Understood. So yeah, that's kind of a weird thing. I'm sure.
Yeah.
How did he feel about getting in there? Was he like as comfortable?
He was gung ho.
He fell asleep. Huh?
Yeah, we edged him along.
Right.
Thank God.
Right. Are you in the movie, Dave?
I get a few cameos in there.
Little
cameos in there.
You gotta be one of those producers that every once in a while, you're in your films.
Just slide by a little bit.
I know you're in there, V.
No, I'm not. In it. I'm not. I don't think I want to be in.
You don't want to do it anymore.
No.
Because I was going to bring up that Facebook picture that you have of your old headshot from back in the day.
Oh yeah.
I happened to see that the other day on your page. I was trying to bring it up and put it on the camera over here.
We have got to change this now.
Okay, we'll go to. How about we go to a break?
Yeah,
and then we'll
because
bring Wayne in.
Gilman is standing
And
by in master control, and I'm trying to beckon to him to come
we
in
see him
because he is late as usual.
We see him, but since we don't have a mic, Wayne, why don't you? Hey, Wayne Gilman, how you doing?
Good evening.
All right, what's happening, sir?
All right.
We just
noisy.
All right.
How are you, Wayne?
These are guys, okay.
How are you?
So we just want to finish up. These guys
Sure.
have made a film. This is my friend Vito and Dave. Vito is the director, writer.
Okay.
Dave is his friend, the producer. They're from Jersey City here. He has a movie called The Last American Guido. And it is a great film.
Like
See the reaction? That's the reaction we want.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
it, right there.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Piques people's interest.
Absolutely.
So we're just talking about Vito is a friend of mine that we met working on a film in Florida a couple of years ago. We remained in contact. And this is your first feature-length film, right? Hey, come on in, everybody. It's a party. You want to sit down, too? So
nothing like live radio, right?
He's produced this film, and Wayne, you've interviewed filmmakers and things like that.
He doesn't have a mic.
Now that's all right. Here, you can use this one that I have here. We'll share this.
Yeah. I have to say that Wayne Gilman, gentleman, is the former news director for WLIB-BLS, a good writer, good friend.
That was my past life. And
yeah.
Within the last 5 years, I was teaching little snotty-nosed kids, and I'm never going back to that. So if you have work for me, I'm available. I can be Guido too, you know.
Got the hair.
Yeah. Well,
you got to spike it up.
Got to spike it up a little bit. Yeah, that's
we'll get you there. You got to embrace your inner Guido.
Yeah,
that's the tagline.
That's true. But I have some notoriety within my family. I don't know if you're familiar with the actress Neil Long.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Neil Long,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They have the best man. I think it's the
all the
cartoon.
dudes are familiar with Neil Long.
Oh yeah. I heard they call that.
Yeah.
So you know.
Yeah, I
Boiler Room,
that.
right?
Boiler Room.
Yeah, Boiler Room, and now the Bust Man because she's gotten so.
Never mind.
No, excuse me, Kay. No, but what can I tell you? Yeah.
But,
However,
So I want to thank you guys coming in. Let me just grab this back.
Sure.
I want to thank you, Guido. Vito. I'm everywhere, as you can see.
Yeah.
I want to thank my friend Vito LeBruno for coming in, and I'm real proud of you, V.
Thank you, and thanks for having us. It's a pleasure. Anytime I'll walk down the street and love to do this show again.
Listen, we'll invite you back.
Because you lived like 2 blocks, right?
Yeah, and I didn't even get to tell my Henry Winkler story. And
there's still a lot of good stuff.
Well, you have to come back and do that, really.
We got a caller real quick. We got a minute, 1 minute to break. Who's the caller?
Hello? Caller,
Hey, caller.
Hi.
How you doing?
I actually had a question for the Guido. I had a question for the Guido guys before they go.
Go ahead.
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Bermuda. Hello.
Okay.
Wow.
Go ahead with your question real quick, caller.
I just wanted to know, first of all, again, when is it coming out? I know you already answered that, but when is it coming out? But also, how much does it have to do with New Jersey? Because, that's a common, not necessarily derogatory term, Guidos. And is it about New Jersey, or what is it about?
Yeah.
Yes, the whole story takes place in New Jersey, and it's all about Jersey people.
And it's a comedy.
And we're going to probably by next year have it on iTunes and video on demand.
Nice.
So if you're in Bermuda, you can check it out there.
Nice.
Right now, we're out there trying to get it.
With the festival thing and have some screenings, yeah.
Last American Guido, make sure you go to see this film if you're in the Red Bank area.
Red Bank, December 12th. Clearview Cinemas, Bowtie Cinemas.
Bowtie Cinemas.
8 p.m.
And go to the Facebook page for The Last American Guido for more information about the movie. I'm going to see it, and I know it's a good movie.
I'm going to see it.
Guido's my man. If you've seen the trailer, there's a trailer on the page.
I want to see it, yeah.
So,
www.thelastamericangguido.com.
That's right.
Or you could just Google The Last American Guido.
www.thelastamericangguido.com.
Right.
All right.
Looking out for it.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah.
My man, Dave. All right. Hold on,
We're
caller.
changing a little bit, so while the guys go out and
Okay, we're on a break. We'll go to a break right now. Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
We'll be right back.
Thank you.
GoPro Radio, the fastest growing network in the galaxy, is leaner and meaner with a new attitude, new technology, and a brand new lineup. Tune in and get wired every Wednesday, starting at 5 p.m. Eastern with the BCS Experience featuring Byron C. Saunders, formerly of New York City's WBAI. Then at 6 p.m., it's the Black Agenda TV Express featuring sought-out political commentator Glenn Ford, formerly of America's Black Forum. Then at 8 p.m., it's time for Kae Thompson Live with the legendary radio host Kae Thompson of Inner City Broadcasting's WLIB and her son, renowned actor Eric Payne, who starred in such films as Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing, Drop Squad, and many more. Then, at 9 p.m., it's Food Rap, featuring Nina Markel, a.k.a. the unofficial mayor of Jersey City, and former Viacom marketing guru Shauna Glover. Last but not least, at 10 p.m. Eastern, it's The Sexy Party Show, with the bad boy of dating Mr. Locario of I Love New York fame and his partner in crime, Miles Cunningham. So get wired every Wednesday from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern only on the GoPro Radio Network, www.goproradio.com. Listen to the voices in your head.
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you a great opportunity. If you have a product or service, a talent or something important to say, now's your chance to have your own radio show. Whether you're just starting out or a veteran looking for a professional platform to enhance your presentation, the GoPro Radio Network is the premier place to cultivate and share new and exciting content. We'll help you to grow your audience and keep it growing long after your first broadcast. Now you have a voice. Call 212-696-8562 today or visit www.goproradio.com and you'll be amazed at how easy and affordable it is to have your own radio show on the fastest growing network in the galaxy. GoPro Radio. Listen to the voices in your head.
The views and opinions expressed on GoPro Radio Network shows are solely those of the speakers and are not necessarily the views or opinions of GoPro Radio Networks, Inc. or its affiliates. These broadcasts are provided on the understanding that they do not constitute professional advice or services. Individuals who speak in these broadcasts express their own opinions, experiences, and conclusions. GoPro Radio Networks and its affiliates do not necessarily endorse or oppose any particular opinion or conclusion discussed in these broadcasts. You may not edit, modify, or redistribute these broadcasts in any way without the express permission of GoPro Radio Networks, Inc. GoPro Radio Networks assumes no liability for any of your activities in connection with these broadcasts or for your use of these broadcasts in connection with your website, computer, or playing device.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we're back, everybody. This is Kae Thompson Live. Eric Payne, my child.
Yeah.
My son is here. That was
You're
so great.
admitting to that, Kay.
Yes, of course.
Really? Yeah. Well, I mean, Eric's a great guy. If I were to have
that voice, everybody, is the voice of Wayne Gilman.
Yeah, that's
Gilman.
me.
That's
I'm
a
still
legendary.
around.
Wait, let me give you your props now. That's a legendary voice out there, everybody.
That's right.
It's Wayne Gilman.
Thank you.
Of WLIB, BLS,
Yes.
and I'm sure you used to hear him on the radio back in the day.
Back in the day.
But we're going to have a new day too, Wayne. I don't need to put it like that, but there are new days to come.
Yeah.
You know,
A lot of things going on.
I can't think of many people other than you and Kay and maybe on one palm people that I started out with who are still doing this on a regular basis.
Reinventing.
And it's sad though,
Yeah.
because I mean, it basically is a throwback to Ty's film Disappearing Voices.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
You know, I mean, we don't really have a platform the way we used to.
That's right.
And I'm holding out optimism, but the whole industry has changed. But we're on the cutting edge because internet, everyone talks. Even David Letterman last night made a reference to that on TV. That if you're a college student taking courses in broadcast journalism, internet's the way to go because there is no future of the terrestrial, medium and
So
satellite for that matter.
I'd like to say to Ty Washington, he is ahead of his time.
Oh yes, certainly.
Yeah,
certainly.
Yeah,
you know,
right, and the crew.
Yeah,
everybody.
and to see what this has evolved from, because this was just a mere breakfast conversation one day, and to see it turn into this, daily. We only have that. I just got here. Got here.
Come early. What
I know. It's the traffic coming in from the city, but
we're glad you came.
I'm glad to be
we have
here.
some other things
I'm
to
really
talk to
glad to
when
be
we go
here.
off.
Yeah,
This is great. Yeah.
We have a new mayor on the horizon in New York City.
Oh, yeah,
you guys are going to have one soon too.
So,
love him.
what's up with the? How do the people in it's kind of loud. How do the people feel about the new mayor there?
Well, he seems like he's had a landslide. I mean, people are fed up with Bloomberg. I mean, Bloomberg was able to squeeze in another 4 years because he convinced members of the city council to change the whole voting system back in New York. But I think it's a breath of fresh air. I mean, his kids, de Blasio's kids, basically carried his campaign.
His son specifically.
His son,
Dante is my man.
Yeah. Doesn't he remind you of David Lampell back in the day with that afro?
No.
He's got a better
seriously,
He's got a better throw than David.
Yeah, he does.
But I think as soon as I saw that young man with a fro, as soon as I saw him, and then he said, "But this is my father," and he had this bro. I said, "That's it. He's got it."
Isn't that something?
Has this. I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew that would happen because everybody's swamped to this guy,
But it's so interesting. I understand the wife, was once an avowed lesbian.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just such amazing,
That's New York.
It is.
That is totally New York.
Exactly, But I'm very optimistic. I think that,
What's up with the, what was it, the Post or something? Put the cover back in the USSR with
yeah.
How hateful can you get?
I don't know what to say. Rupert Murdoch should just hang it up.
We know he's got no credibility.
Well,
I mean, they proved that in London when they were tapping people's phones, and
but he has a readership.
A lot of money.
He has a constituency, and he's got money.
Right.
That's right.
When
you're going to have to come on again.
I know. That was my. I'll sit right here. Actually, I'll stay here.
Right.
We still got the caller on.
Ty will have something to say about that.
We still have the caller on.
Not one man could have all these women in his life.
We still have our caller calling on the air. Gina, are you there? Is Gina still on the line? She was calling in from Bermuda.
I know there's only a few minutes left.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that Eric pointed out that Wayne, you, Kay, and Wayne, you're so very modest, but you guys, your reputation precedes you as far as being, trailblazers in media.
God bless you, Gina.
You guys are very modest, but I mean, people really need to know, and the ones that remember very well. I mean, I'm not just being biased, but I mean, I remember very well how you guys had a very big impact on, providing information. And I know real quickly, again, I'm doing an interview. Someone is interviewing me. One of my daughter's classmates is interviewing me for Seton Hall, a paper that she's doing. And so the topic is, and maybe you guys could speak to this on your way out, is how effective or how has social media affected the broadcasting industry? Do you think that's helped to, to dissolve, mainstream media like you guys were on back in the day, or what?
Yeah.
Speak to that.
We have 2 minutes trying to.
Well, we don't have 2 minutes anymore.
I see it changing. I think, I see a lot of young faces, fresh faces, people of color. The internet seems to be the way to go.
Yeah,
that's it.
And they're saying that people get their news from Twitter now.
Right.
Everybody have these Twitter accounts, and that's how the president releases his news, and people are releasing news. So people are places where they see news going on, and reporters, and they tweet it. And even some of the Arab Spring and some of these revolutions have been known on Twitter before the mainstream media. So
what's Twitter?
We gotta go.
No, I don't.
we gotta go. Thanks for tuning in to the Kae Thompson Live Show. I'm Eric Payne, and what's your name?
I'm Kae Thompson, your mother.
Thanks for calling there, my sister. And that's the legendary.
I'm another son. That's all.
And Gina Payne Scott.
Hi, Gina.
Okay.
From Bermuda.
Okay.
Pancho Sanchez.
Onion Tree.
Oh yeah.
Host.
All right.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.